Hey, sports fans, Larry Eater, RunBlogRun. This is Athletics Chat 21, the epilogue. So here's the deal. Athletics Chats we started a few months ago. They were the brainchild of Mike Deering and Adam Eater, and they are the shoe addicts. They're the guys who do our video stuff. And the idea was to me to have a weekly chat with one of my writers, and we've done it by Zoom. And it's been fun. We try to solve all the world's problems of the week in athletics. We can't solve many of them. Sometimes we try to keep it light. Stuart Weir is in Oxford, England. I refer to it as the intellectual capital of the world. I think they've had a college or university there since 1134. I think about the same time as the University of Paris. And then I'm in San Jose, California, which in 1134 there were some Native American cultures here, and a lot of fishing, a lot of growing weed, and it was the good old days. So what we're talking about today? Well, we're going to talk about what happened yesterday. First of all, the London Marathon, Stuart and I both thought was fantastic. Normally, you have 45,000 people trotting around London, and BBC covers it for 6 or 8 hours, and it's a glorious coverage. I fly over. I think I've missed a couple years since 2006, and great week of pressers, great week of interviews, great content offered by the team. I think it's Penny Dane who's in charge in communications, Ryan Goad, Hugh Brazier. We always have access to him. David Bedford, who used to be the elite athlete coordinator, now it's Spencer Barden. Spencer had his hands full with this one because there was all these pandemic regulations you had to do to keep people safe. They had to change the course. They did it around St. James Park, 19 laps, so 2.195 kilometers per lap. They had the women's race at 7:15 a.m., the men's at 10 a.m., and the wheelchair at 1 p.m. What I liked about that was that we got to see each race develop and finish. And so there are 3 separate stories. To cover it remotely in the U.S., I stayed up at 11 p.m. and I didn't go to bed till about 5. I was so wired afterwards. But it was a tremendous event. Great stories. And check out our pieces from Justin Gatlin. Or not Justin Gatlin, Justin Legatt. I saw Justin Gatlin's name on something recently. So, man, I'm having senior moments. But Justin Legatt, our correspondent in Kenya, senior writer in Kenya, did 2 good pieces on Bridget Kosgei and Mr. Kitata, Ashura Kitata. And it was both great races. The women's race, Ruth Chepngetich and Bridget Kosgei got away from everybody else very early on. Vivian Chariot had a bad day. She was sick. Steph Twell had a bad day. Lily Partridge had a bad day. We had 2 surprise British athletes do well. But after Bridget Kosgei, Sarah Hall, the American, ran a 2:22:01 PB and looked fantastic and got into second just near the finish. What an exciting race. Sarah's been on the covers of Cal Track and Running News, American Track and Field, Athletes Only. She's one of our most popular cover athletes. She was a great high school runner, a very fine runner at Stanford, where she met her husband, Ryan Hall. And also, Ryan's coaching her now. And Ryan was on the course telling her, "You're 30 seconds down, you're 15 seconds down." So she was getting good updates. There was, from what we could see on TV, there was very few people out on the course. They kept it clear, they kept it safe. It was rainy and it was cold. Kind of a rough way to run a marathon, but both marathons were pretty dang quick. You get a 2:18, high and low 2:19, and a 2:05. So it was a challenging days. On the men's side, The top three men, it was pretty amazing. Um, Everybody thought Eliud Kipchoge was going to win after Kenenisa Bekele pulled out earlier in the week with a pull, a muscle pull. But Eliud stayed with it till right around 40K, and then he dropped off, and he ran a 2:06.08 in eighth place. The men's race came down to a final sprint, literally the last 40 or 50 meters, and Mr. Couture won. And it was an excellent race. And those are the things that keep it exciting. It was really, for people who were not marathon fans, they could have enjoyed it because the competition was so intense. My frustrations were not really knowing, not seeing on the coverage better splits, a little bit on 10K, 5K splits. That's what the global viewers were asking about. But BBC always does a great job. It was this is a new world. This is a rarefied world. But over 40,000 runners or 36,000 runners in the virtual event competed. They had 24 hours to complete their 26.2 miles, 42.195 kilometers. And Hugh Brazier and the team at the Virgin Money London Marathon should be very, very proud. So great job. Our next topic was British athletics. What we're definitely concerned about is British athletics has been putting on some fine indoor meetings in Birmingham, England, in Glasgow, and we're not sure they're going to be doing any of them. They didn't show up on the World Athletics list of events yet, and that's what concerns us deeply. And we will have to see where it will go and how it will go. And if they're going to have outdoor meets, are they going to have the London Anniversary Games? We don't know. It's just, there's no indication from British athletics. British athletics has had some financial challenges, and we think that's part of the issue. We wish them the very best, but we know that a lot of federations are getting themselves in tough places right now because of the nature of the world. Finally, Joshua Cheptegei. On October 7th in Valencia, Spain, Joshua Cheptegei will go for the now world record of 10,000 meters of 26:17.83, Kenenisa Bekele. Can he do it? Yes. Will he break it by a lot? Doubtful. If he breaks it, it's going to be by a few seconds. And he's got to stay really, really focused. And we think he can. Cheptegei is a multiple world cross-country champion. He is also the champion of 10,000 meters from the Doha World Championships. And guy's got some moxie. He's got some leg speed. And it'll be fun to see fine Ugandan runner do well again. I think he'll get the record by about 2 seconds, but maybe 4. We'll have to see. On top of that, we talked about pandemic issues. We still think that we're dealing with this for a year and a half. In the U.S., President Trump went into the hospital on Friday. It seems now from forensically looking at the information that he's had it for a few more days than when he announced it on Friday. 25 people around him have picked up the coronavirus, which tells you that somehow it's being transferred through the air, through touch. So you have to be careful. Wash your hands. Wear mask. Be careful. This is Larry Eder with RunBlogRun. This is Athletics Chat 21. May I ask you before we close that if you like what we do, then like us on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. If you love what we do, subscribe on the YouTube. Stay safe, wear a mask, wash your hands. Larry Eder, Athletics Chat 21 with Stuart Weir. Thanks to Mike Deering for getting this all together. Talk soon.